This is News 10 Weekend.
Good evening, I'm Caitlin Conrad. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we're bringing you total coverage of the storm from the basin to Northern California. But first we're taking you live to Medford, where Jessica Genova has the latest on crashes in your town. Jessica?
Good evening, Caitlin. I'm on the corner of McAndrews Road and Brookdale Avenue, where, as you can see on the sign here behind me, there is a closure on McAndrews from Tamarack to Hillcrest. Now, that wasn't the case yesterday afternoon when the snowstorm first hit, and drivers were really struggling heading home from work on these icy roads. And as drivers were spinning out on these roads, emergency first responders were busy trying to help them. A snowstorm took over southern Oregon and northern California Friday afternoon, making roads dangerous and keeping Jackson County's dispatchers at Emergency Communications of Southern Oregon, or ECSO,
and just go with your phone number,
busier than normal.
The average day for us is approximately 100 or 850 calls.
Williams says Friday afternoon from about 2 to 7, ECSO was inundated with both 911 and business line calls, reaching a total of just more than 1,000 calls.
Be there in about 5 to 10.
Emergency first responders also reported response times as long as 15 minutes and say drivers should watch out for their rigs headed to calls on icy roads.
If we startle them, they're going to get out of the way. They might swerve a little more because the roads are slick. So just be mindful of that, and we have to be careful of it too, to not come up too fast on someone that way.
But several cars parked along Hillcrest Road didn't end up there because of approaching emergency crews.
2 cars in front of me stopped, and that was it. Couldn't move anymore. So I slid down, put in reverse, and just moved into the parking space and parked right here.
As John George waited for his ride to pick him up, he watched as other helpless drivers struggled to make it home.
No one could go. I mean, people were just stuck, and then I walked up to the country club, and there was people up there waiting for rides.
Finding his rear-wheel drive Mercedes-Benz sandwiched between 2 cars Saturday afternoon, George decided to give it a try another day, but just minutes later, Drew Allen arrived to pick up the car parked behind George's. Allen says he parked on Hillcrest Road after an hour-long drive from work Friday, which he says normally takes 15 minutes, but Allen says his commute home wasn't over yet.
Probably about half hour, 40 minutes. About a 3-mile walk up the hill, but I got about 2 miles up to where they closed McAndrews and Hillcrest. The road down to McAndrews was closed, but my friends came and picked me up right at that corner, and we went home from there.
ECSO says by early Saturday afternoon, its call volume was back to normal. ECSO and all emergency agencies ask stuck drivers not to call 911 if there are no injuries, to keep lines and first responders open for more serious emergencies. Covering your news live in Medford, Jessica Genova, News 10.
Crews have spent the past 2 days running from one accident to the next. These photos are from our News 10 Facebook friend, Nisha Flannery. She took them on the drive from Medford on Interstate 5, where, as you can see, the weather got the best of some drivers.